All right, so we are
live.
live. We're live.
Hey, Scott, what's going on
Hey,
today?
yeah, today. So this is the last day of the Texas Library Association conference here in San Antonio. So we are live on YouTube and LinkedIn because we can. And I'm fortunate that I have the true pirate himself, Russ Johns, and I know many of you have been praying for Russ. Well, look, he's up. He's
I'm here.
about.
I'm off uh, participating and active. So driving out around the country in Texas and San Antonio uh, with D. Scott Smith and a few hundred people.
Yeah, so there's like 5,000 attendees here at the conference. And so we set up the camera, the computer, so we can actually go live. And what we want to do is we want to talk about some of the books. And so Liz Lawless and the Dynamic Authors Group. So she's out of Dallas, Texas, and many of you know Liz. And a lot of the books that she's done, the Cowboys of Color, and really what she did is she is preserving and protecting a history that would have been lost had she not done this.
Exactly. And she is very active in the author community to help people achieve their results. And you also would in Houston doing a seminar in the authors and how it's taking place in marketing and media. So,
Absolutely, yeah. It's I believe just about everybody has a book in them,
yeah.
and the problem is that we get intimidated because we look at these great authors, the people that we look up to, and it just seems overwhelming to write a
Absolutely.
book. And so I was over here talking with one of our fellow vendors. So over at Clicks Therapy, CLIX, Clicks Therapy, they've got a great product. Mubarak is one of the guys that is there in the booth, and he's talking about a graphic novel that he's had in his brain for years, kind of in the anime world,
Yeah.
and he's wanted to publish, but it's
overwhelming.
that's exactly what it is. It's overwhelming to think about that. So what we talked about was actually just doing like a serial book,
Yes.
right?
And break it down in parts so you can not get overwhelmed by it. The series.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
You
like
know,
that.
Yeah, I was thinking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't know if you've read the book, but it started as a radio series.
Yes. And all I think also you could record it and transcribe it into book.
Exactly right. This is a great way to go. So there's a lot of ways. So people have content. So if you've written blogs, you have content for a book. If you do video podcasts, whether they're live or recorded, you have content for a book.
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to make sure that we have a number of authors in the booth here, and we want to make sure that we get a chance to get their perspective. Liz Lawless and all of the people are in there also other booths that are in maybe we can.
So let me get Super Dave Osborne.
Get Super Dave Osborne.
So let me see. Keep going. I'm going to see if I can drag Dave over here, and I'll hand him the microphone. Keep it going.
I just wanted to let you know that we have a number of vendors, a number of authors, and if you want to write a book or you wanted to produce something in your media, we can actually, go get him.
All right, so we've got Dave Osborne, and Dave is a longtime leader in the business world, in telecom specifically, and he's got a book on leadership. So, Dave, why don't you tell us?
Okay, that's great. Thank you. The name of the book is Taking Charge, and I relate anecdotally several things that happened over my 52 and plus years in telecommunications, which of course started out in telephony and ended up in broadband. It's targeted toward the mid-level executive or manager in a mid to large size company, gives them some tips and pointers on how to be a better boss and to grow your business. And it's been out a week, started. It's available on Amazon, and it's also available on Ingram for wholesale. It's available in paperback, ebook, and what's called case-bound or hardback. So I think it's already done quite well for the first week. You can go to my website, www.daveosbornbooks.com, and there are tabs for my book on my rescue dog, as well as Taking Charge, where you just touch the tab and then it has buy now on Amazon and boom, take you right to it, so that you don't have to spend time hunting on Amazon. Amazon has, how many, 50 million books or so on there. And sometimes it gets very hard to find work of a new author, particularly on a new release. So that said, I think that's
and I
appreciate a look.
You are coming up with additional books as well.
Yes, a couple of plans. One is I just released book one of the Adventures of Piper series, which is a story of our rescue dog. It's in English, Spanish, and French. It also has companion coloring books that go with it. And again, you can get to it easily from the daveosbornbooks.com. Touch the book you want in the language you want. It will take you right to the Amazon page. We're going to upload that on Ingram Sparks this coming week, and it will be in hardback, paperback, and ebook. And the hardback will be suitable for school libraries and other places that really have to have a hardback cover. And it's leveled. My daughter's a reading specialist and leveled it at third year, first month. And it has, it's not a Dick and Jane C-spot run. It's got compound sentences and some decent language, to where it's interesting to a second grader that reads well, all the way up to a fifth or a sixth grader. And it's a good story. And it's book one. Book two will transition. Piper is the name of the dog. Piper, we have aspirations to get her into an emotional support animal program or a therapy dog program. There's not too many of those in the Rio Grande Valley where we live, so we're going to have to improvise there. But that's the next step. And then book three will probably be her on the job and
awesome.
Doing that, because she's a sweet dog and has the temperament and personality to be a very good therapy dog. So that's the book series. And then I've got a spy novel in the works, which I'll be starting on doing research now, and plan to start writing the drafts of the manuscript this summer.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the time to introduce myself.
Absolutely. And we go additional people at some of the booths, and we're going to do other authors as well. Thank you.
Excellent. Glad to do it.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, I'll jump in and give you a moment. All right, so D Scott here, and we've got David from Scanx.
Yeah,
and
right across the way over here.
Yeah, so tell us what's going on in with Scanx, and who are your customers, and tell us about how the show's been going for you.
Well, I'll start off with the show's been going really well. We've enjoyed Texas Library Association. It's been fantastic being here. Kind of like on the opposite side of what you guys do, we kind of digitize books. So we're in the digitization process of all libraries, academic and higher level education. Customer-wise, about 3,800 customers across the U.S., so quite a few. And we serve everybody from the small town library all the way up to the big institutional libraries of Yale, Harvard, and MIT and all that stuff.
Nice. And so what kind of content? So I'm thinking, so if you're working with higher education, I'm thinking maybe a PhD research thesis. He says, I want to have a copy of this available. Would that be something that would do,
that's
or
an
what would
question.
you might do?
Yeah, it's very, very close actually to what we do. In fact, we do a lot of that kind of stuff. So we do everything from patron scanning all the way down to interlibrary loan for theses and things like that, all the way to research libraries, law libraries, and everything, where it's really there's not really a spot in the library that we don't cover as far as digitization goes. So archiving all the way down to patron scanning, all the student scanning, and everything in between. Course reserves, digital ending, you name it.
Nice. And so, David, people want to reach out to you. How are they going to contact you? What's the best way to learn about you and to contact you?
Well, to contact me, I'm on the road about 10 months out of the year. It's kind of tough, but the best way to do it would be to reach out to us at info@scanx.com. Additionally, you just visit our website at www.scanx.com.
All right, that's a good deal. So
Yeah.
what's next after the TLA here?
So
in
I haven't been
Texas?
home for about a month. So go home and see my wife. And then after that, honeymoon time, actually.
Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank
I'll
you.
shake your hand on that one. Nice.
Thank you. And then after that, it's back on the road for the work. So
Okay.
we're going to be at ALA. We're going to be at, well, we just did PLA. We'll be at ILA, Illinois Library Trade Show. We'll be at California Library Trade Show. We'll be kind of all over the place. So you'll see us kind of a little bit everywhere.
All right. Well, good deal. Thanks
Yeah.
so much, David.
Thanks so much. Appreciate
Have a
ya.
good time. We'll see you soon.
Well, see you soon.
All right, Russ. So it is just a lot of fun to
Another great interview. So keep the authors coming.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. It's fun. So it's good to see Dave. So Dave Osborne just has a wealth of experience.
Yes.
And it's fortunate he's captured it in the book.
Yeah, and he loves writing, and he has other books in the works. So it's nice to be able to
Yeah.
get creative.
So this is one of the good things about Amazon. So if you find an author that you like on Amazon, a lot of times maybe they have one book or they have multiple books, but you can actually click the little follow button on Amazon, and so when they get a new book, you'll get notified.
Yes, and follow the author. Follow the authors, and if you buy your book, like your book is, write a review. It's amazing to help authors and excel.
Yeah, that Russ, that's really an important thing. Those reviews, we live and die by reviews, whether it's as an author in your book or whether it's your business. And, we trust those. So we've been on the road. So my wife and I, Christine, and she's here with her books. But we flew in on the 5th of April, and today's the 18th.
Yeah.
So we've been on the road for a while. And obviously, we're looking for restaurants. We're looking for different hotels, but mainly, let's just say the restaurants.
Yeah.
And so, we're on the phone.
Yeah.
Restaurants near me.
Yeah.
And we look at the reviews, and if there's bad reviews, or if there's like 5-star reviews, but it's only like 4, we go, okay, so they got 4 family members
to review the
Right.
restaurant.
And so books are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you like an author, give a 5-star. Please just give a 5-star review.
Yeah.
And ideally, at least put a little sentence or a paragraph in there that says some kind of insight or a reason why people would want to buy this book.
Yeah. And it's really amazing to watch these authors coming to their own. And when Christine was saying, I noticed she was an author, and she wasn't an author before. Now she is an author, and it's such a satisfying experience to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's his. I remember. So I published my first book in 2018, and right after it got published, I was down at the local coffee shop, and I'm standing in line, and like you do, I started talking to somebody, and I was kind of excited. He asked one of those questions: "What's new in your life?" And I said, "Well, I have a book that just became available on Amazon."
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. It solved one problem. It was a 60-page book available only on Kindle, so electronic only.
Yeah.
But he asked what's new. And I said, well, my book is now available on Amazon on Kindle. And he said, oh, so you're an author. Well, I hesitated. I don't know if I could accept that, because I go, well, it's only 60 pages. It's only on Kindle.
Yeah.
But I thought about it and I said,
yes.
yes, I am.
But that's in the arena for the content creator. You're a podcaster. You create content, and a book is one of these messages that you can live throughout, and you pick it up, and it's not gone in an instant, so you can completely relate to that. So
Yeah, it was one of those things where, the genesis of the book, I kind of had in the back of my mind, like a lot of people, that I wanted to write a book. Didn't really set out to do it, but I gave a talk at the Social Media Summit in Dublin, Ireland, back in 2016, and then it was well received, and so I came back and I turned that into an e-course.
yes,
And so when I did the e-course, I basically wrote out the script for each segment of that course, with the intent that I could then take that and compile it into a book.
yeah,
So I gave the talk, I turned it into a course,
yeah.
but always knowing you can reuse your content, repurpose it.
And that is like you have exceeded many lessons. You have experienced lessons from other people, and they're podcasters, broadcasters, with uh, Alan Hennessy and Russ.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Russ.
Russ Hedge.
Russ Hedge.
Yeah.
But and it's really it's funny because you got me on live TV. I haven't really got on live TV until
Been a
for
while.
my stroke. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I got loop me in.
And so everyone, we're glad to have
Yeah.
Russ Johns back. Pirate Syndicate, and his motto is help more people, help more people.
Yeah.
And
Kindness is cool and smiles are free.
follow those hashtags. You can't go wrong. It's I believe that again, almost everybody has a book, and we just had on here Dave Osborne in his book, and it's on leadership. Now, if you Google up leadership books, there are millions of books out there, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds of books out there. And so you would think, why would Dave write a book on leadership? But you know what? Nobody does leadership like him in his way.
And it's also perspective. There's some, you and I might do similar things, but our perspective, our position is unique to us. And that you resonate with people that you know, like, and trust. And
Yep, absolutely.
And you wanted to make sure that you're doing, learning other techniques that you haven't the experience.
Yeah, that experience is really what it is, right? So we could go to the same college, we could go to work at the same company, go through the same training program, but the way we synthesize that information and the way we apply it is different. And that's why people can write a book, even on a very, you could say, saturated subject like leadership, and still resonate with people.
And the beauty of the thing is that, you might have similar techniques, similar ideas, but there's always, every time I read a book, every time I take something away from it, like a idea, a concept, and say, I didn't think about that. And it's the same way. It's just, it's always be learning. So
always be learning. I like that. So we always talk about, you hear about ABC, always be closing, but I like ABL, always be learning.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Russ.
You did hear, you hear it first. at the
Yeah, that's
library
right. You
concert.
heard it. You heard it first right
Yeah.
here. And let's bring Christine over. Bring a
Yes.
couple of
Yeah.
a couple of the authors here. So I will let Russ Johns interview
Oh, wow.
Christine.
Oh no! I thought it was going to be easy. I thought it was going to be just him.
No, he's to talk it for a moment. So, how are you? How you ventured out to your author? So, you started. Then we had a author adventure live stream. We talked about
Yes.
publishing. You had a lot of evidence that you could take away for getting a book, but you didn't publish it. So
No, I was afraid. And it's great being here because some people have actually said, I've been thinking of making a book. I've been a librarian, I've been a teacher, I've been a parent, I've been in different professions, and I think I want to write a book. There's a guy right over there that both Scott and I have had the opportunity to encourage. So last night, he actually went online and got himself registered with Kindle so that he can go forward. He's taken his next step. He's 22 years old and he loves particular genres, and he's already written it, but he didn't know what was the next step, and neither did I. In fact, I didn't even know that I wanted to write. I knew I wanted to communicate what I learned. I wanted someone to hear it, and it was my husband who said, but it can go so much farther than just one room full of people. Yeah.
And having a room of pro people is valuable, but it can last forever in a book, and the principles and the techniques and the your perspective is wonderful to share with other people that don't have a clue, just like you're on the publishing side, but you had the perspective on your topic.
Yes.
So we talked to Scott. We have unique perspective.
Yes.
And you had a long career for that caregiver, so that I'm a caregiver, and I need to be cared for. But
exactly, we go at each end. In fact, when I was a caregiver, I was really invading people's homes, their personal lives, and I was doing things for them that they used to not need assistance. And one of the best things I could say to them was, if our roles were reversed, you would do your best for me and restore my independence. And so if we ever are reversed, you can do it for me. And that usually brought on a laugh, right, we're going to be reversed. Well, guess what? You've experienced that, where it's just like your own mom is like, I need to up my game and be helpful right now.
And exactly, because for months I couldn't talk, I couldn't communicate. Writing is gone.
How did you survive that? What am I going to do if I can't talk? If I can't talk?
Podcasters that can't talk.
Welcome.
Welcome
to your Zen moment. It will last 30 minutes.
I'm just going to be quiet here.
Finally, someone listening to me. That's what you're going to start, the first listening podcast. I love it.
Podcast. That's awesome. But I saw you in Houston, and I was taken by I was um, I was interested with you had can you have because you having a lot of uh, notes and things that you
Yes.
accumulated, and I thought that was brilliant because I written
Thank you.
a lot of journals, things they you created blogs or anything, but I thought if you have something that you created, you could turn it into a book. You could turn it an idea for a book and make sure that you uh, give them to your kids or anybody, just
Exactly.
memorialize it. So
Yes, it does last through the
yes,
generations. Maybe someday someone will say, Great Grandma Christine on your grandma's side of the family wrote these things down because back in her day, people didn't think about aging until there was a problem,
and
and it'll be like, really? That's the way it used to be.
yes, it was. And you have this book, Caregiver Kit, Caregiver Kits.
Yes, I wrote it weird and it makes people think. And that's what I love to
Yes.
do because I was an educator.
Yes, and this uh, pre-act your age.
Yes.
Yes.
A wonderful author. She was already published, but like me, she was publishing a new genre of books in her 60s than she had ever done when she was,
Mm.
she ruled the boardroom
Yeah.
during her 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. But into her 60s, she was caregiving first her mother, then her father. And she said, you know what? People should be more equipped.
Yeah.
And she wrote a book. And when I told her that I had this disorganized pile of notes, not nice and organized like journals, literally scraps of paper when I sat in my car between shifts of caregiving at homes.
Yeah.
And I was trying to staple them and tape them together into something. She said, what you're doing is giving something, you are assigning people something to do. Why don't you leave some empty space on those pages and let them journal? Tell them information, but let them journal about it.
Yeah.
So here is a book that's half empty pages, and it encourages somebody. It's okay, I can write in this. I got more than a margin.
Yeah. I thought that was brilliant because
Yay for her.
because
Good advice.
the what I liked about it because you form a thought in the caregiver routine because you don't know what you're expecting. No, it's not anything you've ever experienced. You're unless you're a caregiver, but if new caregivers having you write it down and you catalog it, so to speak,
Yes.
and if you need to somebody needs to take over or have some routines or things like that, it's a valuable tool to share the information.
Right. So from caregiver to caregiver, especially when we were a staff of us
Yeah.
would come in and out 24/7. We did a tremendous amount of writing. Some of us did, making sure that they knew that something had changed or that the person stated a preference, and we wanted that to happen. So in this book, you are stating your core values, your preferences, what's important to you, if you should hit a bump in the road that is typically an aging challenge. And that way, the people who care about you right now aren't having to read your mind, aren't having to wonder, am I disrespecting you? This isn't about dying. This is about
No.
continuous living.
Yeah.
We could both still be talking like this in 30 years.
Yeah.
And our kids, your son, my daughter, could know what was important to mom, to dad.
Yeah.
And I have their permission to, treat a situation in a certain way and not just letting them guess,
Yeah.
Well,
Well, like my situation, mom cared for mom, but she's getting care for my sister now because I'm out of town. So
that's right.
Some of the food she likes or some of the things that needs to be cared for, she, that's good documentation to.
That's one of my
yeah.
favorite words. Document this,
document
because
it.
then it makes it official, and you're doing the right thing and what not to do. And it is very important to know what not to do.
Yes.
So I see Scott's coming
Yeah.
back in,
Well,
and
yeah.
he's probably got something to say.
So we're going to switch over and bring Yancey in here in a moment.
Yay.
But tell people how they can get a hold of you.
This is important. Okay. AgingBetterNetwork.com. If you go to .com/live, AgingBetterNetwork.com/live, you can scroll down, click around, and find all the solution creators talking about the books they wrote, the items they invented, the support groups that they facilitate online, and so much more there. And if you just want to get a hold of me, I'm Christine at Pre-Act Your Age. Pre-Act Your Age. Christine at preactyourage.com. And you can email me, and I actually have some answers too after all my experience. But mostly I send you to the other experts.
All right. Thank you so much. Great
Thank
to have
you,
Christine.
And I will hand the mic off.
Yeah, we've got
to
Yancey
next
over
guest.
here,
Yeah.
and we've got
Thank you so much.
this is
Wow,
one of the
thank you.
cool things,
Thank you.
Russ. So thanks for talking with Christine and at AgingBetterNetwork.com. And so Yancey here, this is one of the cool things about coming to trade shows is we actually met over lunch. And I encourage people, when you go to shows, don't just sit with the people that you know. Find cool people that are having lunch. And Yancey, tell us about what is going on in your world. And I'm just going to say right now, it is a book vending machine, but there's more to it than that.
So we're Book Nook by Superior
Bring that
Text, and what we want to do is promote literacy. Okay, the vending machine is a wonderful way to get books into students' hands, and what this is all a reward system based event where kids get excited to reach a goal, get a gold coin to where they can go over into the Book Nook book machine and get a book that they've selected. So it's not you were told to read, it's not you were forced to read, it's you're excited about using the vending machine to get a book that you can take home and share with others.
I love it. Can I hold that coin for a second here?
Sure.
So let me just say, so this is the Book Nook. Let's see if we can get that. There you go. There's the coin, the Book Nook. And this is a way to gamify reading for the students, right?
Most definitely. It's a great way to get kids excited. It does. It makes a huge game out of it. And it's what's really funny as the adults get as excited as the kids do about it. They see the lights, they see the vending machine, beautiful colors, and they all want to be a part of it.
And and this is something that's really important for people to know too, that you're not just giving them a vending machine. There's a lot behind what you guys are doing there.
So for us, it's about literacy. It's about the books. We want to work with your librarians, your principals, whoever's involved in your school to get demographics, to get information about what you're promoting in the school so that we get you the right books for your students.
Obviously, this is something that is unique. I mean, when I was a kid, we had vending machines, but It was just candy bars. And actually, back in the day, it was candy bars and cigarettes, but we didn't get the cigarettes. But some of you may remember those.
Yeah, for us older crowd. But that's right. It's something new with vending.
Yeah.
It's not a candy bar. You know, we're not feeding their stomachs. We're trying to feed their minds.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
So
thank you so much.
absolutely,
This
Yancy.
has been great.
So tell everyone. So we're here on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. We are at the Texas Library Association 2024 here in San Antonio, Texas. This has been a fabulous convention conference. This is the last day with all the vendors here. And so how do people get a hold of you, and how do people learn more?
So reach out to superiortext.com. You can also feel free to give me a call. My number is 254-717-7567. Be glad to help in any way. My personal email is yparsons@superiortext.com.
Fabulous. So there you have it right now. You can reach out, learn more about this, go to the website. And for those of you who are teachers and you're thinking, this would be really good for my students, but I don't have the authority to write the check, Yancy here will give you all of the information so you can convince administration that this is a great way to improve literacy. And if you improve literacy, your graduation rates are going to go up.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
I really
so much.
appreciate
We'll
your
talk to you
time.
soon. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
All right. So we are here at the Texas Library Association, and let's bring Russ Johns back in. And we've got some more authors
Yes.
that we're going to interview. I'm waiting for Liz Lawless to get a break. But for those of you that know Liz, she has some fabulous stories to share. And there's like 5,000 people here, so
Yeah.
she's not going to run out.
No, she's in the wings, talking to authors and librarians and anybody that will talk to her.
Yeah, absolutely. And so who we want to bring in next is we've got the Buffalo Nickel
Oh yeah,
Ranch.
absolutely.
Russ, can you go over
Yeah,
and
I'd
grab
love
Robin?
to.
And we'll bring her over here. So we're going to switch up the switch this up a little bit. We're going to bring in another one of the authors. So a Buffalo Nickel Ranch children's books. And they have been one of our neighbors here at the Texas Library Association conference this whole week that we've been here these number of days. Great neighbors. I love the branding and the story, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that here in just a moment. So let's hand the microphone over, and we've got props. We can put those right here.
Right here?
Yeah. All right. So Randy.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're here with Randy. Randy and her team over here have been the most fabulous neighbors. All of the branding is just on point.
Thank you.
And so tell us how you got started and what is Buffalo Nickel
Absolutely.
Ranch all
I
about?
would love to. Thanks for hosting. So, how I got started was I was an elementary school teacher, and I absolutely love teaching kids. I looked for children's books to help with language arts. Although there's a million out there that are wonderful in so many ways, not one did exactly what I needed it to do. So, from a teacher's perspective, I've written a series of children's books. So far, 12 of them are published. There's 44 in the series. It's called the Buffalo Nickel Ranch series. And this is Stella. She's our main character. And what she does is she shares her adventures on the ranch, and it's all about learning lessons. And also, I've turned every book into dramas so that they can be reader theaters. I've also taken all of the stories and related them back to the English language arts TEKS here in the state of Texas, and turned each of those TEKS into discussion questions on every book. So my heart is in the classroom and for teachers and for the country. And so we like living out in the country. We live on a ranch, the Buffalo Nickel Ranch, and that's what this series is all about. So we take those life lessons, turn them into things we can use in the classroom, so it's not just practice passage after practice passage after practice passage. I just feel like as teachers, we can do that better and still accomplish those big goals.
Yeah, this is so fun. And I just love, this is the entrepreneurial spirit, right? Is we see things the way they are.
Yes.
but it's not the way we want it to be.
Right.
And so you say, you know what?
We can
I don't
do
have
better.
to live. Yeah, absolutely.
We can do it better.
And so you guys are published on Amazon.
Yes, sir. Amazon.com.
So Amazon.com. So you can go and find, and we can search for the Buffalo Nickel Ranch.
Yes, sir.
on
You
there.
can search for Buffalo Nickel Ranch or my name as the author, Randy Whitney.
And so here's the best deal. When you go to Amazon and you find Randy in her books, follow her. Click the follow
Yes.
button
Yes.
because there's 12 books that are published now.
12 books published so far. We have them in English and Spanish.
Beautiful, bilingual. And I'll say one of the things that I love about bilingual books, and this is what I encourage you to do. Don't buy the English. Don't buy the Spanish. It's not the or, right? The conjunction we want is and. Right?
Yes, sir.
Buy this and because
Be an includer.
you can learn Spanish if English is your first
That's
language.
right.
You can learn English
Yes, sir.
because you can put them side by side. You can read it to
Yes.
yourself. You can read them to your children.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
this is what I love about
I love
this.
the tandem.
Yeah, absolutely. And right, that's the conjunction we want. And. So when you follow Randy on Amazon, the next book that gets published, you'll get advance notice. You'll be able to buy those books. You can get them sent out. And here's the other thing that's great about Amazon is you have friends that live across the country.
That's right.
You want to send them a book. You want to be the hero.
That's right.
Put their address in.
You can do it.
Add to
Click
cart.
of a button.
Add to cart. Put their address in. Send it to them. They're going to get a surprise in the mail. Tell us about one of the stories. Tell us a little adventure.
Okay, so one of them is called Who Let the Goat Out? So Stella accidentally let the goat out one morning, feeding all the animals breakfast. The Shetland ponies distracted her, and she left the gate open for the goat that she was feeding.
Uh-oh.
And he was actually a disabled goat. He had a broken back, and he was blind in one eye. His mama stepped on him when he was born.
Oh, my word.
So it was really important to take care of that goat, and she just accidentally left the gate open. He got out, fell into a pond, but he was saved, and that's good. But what really came from the book was who let the goat out, and she had to take ownership of that. And so she raised her hand when the ranch owner said, who let the goat out? I need to know, take responsibility, somebody. And she did. And so he said, it was you, Stella. And who taught you to own your own? She said, my mama taught me that, and I heard it in my head, and so I had to speak up. And so the poem goes, own your own when it's easy, own your own when it's hard, own your own on the outside and especially in your heart. And it was that day that she taught all the grown-ups at that ranch, own your own, no matter if it's easy, no matter if it's hard. And it was all over a sweet little goat.
I love it. These
Thank
books
you.
are so fabulous.
Thank you.
And inside, we're going to just show a little bit of the illustrations.
They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. One of my very best friends, her name is Riley. She does the illustrations. So I write the stories, and she makes it come to life with beautiful artistry.
So if you're interested in writing a book and you're doing children's books, the art is one of those things that's
Huge.
Really hard to find the right person that has the same vision that you have.
That's right. That makes what's in your mind come to life. And Riley has done that.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, Randy, thank you for coming and being
My
a great
pleasure.
neighbor here at
you.
the Texas Library Association.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do another one of these on Amazon Live. So make sure that you're following here on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and follow Randy on Amazon. And I'll tell you what, you can do your Christmas shopping right now.
That's right. Be ahead.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I
Enjoy
appreciate
the rest
you.
of the show.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll bring Russ back in. Thanks so much.
Well, I thank you so much. That's a great story. I love it. Thank you, Randy. And having had goats before, it's like
get you back on the camera.
having had goats before, I can realize it's like, yeah, take a responsibility to do what we need to do. So
it's we all make mistakes.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But it's how do you respond to that, right?
Yes,
As we
absolutely.
say, one mistake doesn't define who you are.
No. And
How do you respond?
if you haven't made enough mistakes. You probably aren't trying hard enough.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Well, maybe, yeah, go ahead.
um, who did we bring on next?
Well, I was hoping that we can bring Liz in,
Yeah.
and we'll find a break here in the show. But the Texas Library Association, a lot of librarians, a lot of folks really interested in what Liz has, and so maybe you can tell us a little bit while we're waiting for Liz about the show that you guys do together.
Well, the show we've had is Authored Adventure, and it's talking about authors and what they go through, the tips and techniques that you can actually. She needs to go. Yeah.
All right. Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
We're live. So I'm just supposed to talk to you. Do I look at the camera? Do I look at
We're
you? I never
talking
know.
about these the Author Adventure show and how we can share tips and techniques that
About writing and
got
publishing.
writing and publishing and
Okay.
getting your book
Out in
the
front
door.
of people. Out in front of people. Well,
Yeah.
it's a process, and that's what we got to tell people. That's why we call it the author adventure,
Yeah,
because it's not kind of a one and done kind of thing.
and it's always unique to the individual.
Right.
Yeah.
To whoever that author is. So, you've got the writing part of the story, and then it's like you wake up and you go, oh, I got to publish,
Yeah.
and then you got to figure out how to publish.
Where did I go publish it? How do you publish it? And
Yeah.
these things are unique and universal at the same time,
Right.
because
Right. Exactly.
you publish in Amazon,
Right. With
and
platform and
Ingram,
Barnes and Noble,
Barnes and Noble.
Apple, I guess
Apple.
is
Yeah.
books. And so, you can publish on these multiple platforms for free
Yeah,
and get paid on the back end.
yeah. So there's a lot of sometimes it's technical.
Right. Moving parts, as we call it.
Exactly. So
Russ and I call it moving parts.
Yeah.
Publishing has lots of moving parts.
exactly. Well, it's the same with
Podcasting and live streaming. Marketing. Yeah.
But the unique difference is having to allow it's continuous.
Right. It's
You
kind of an
can't-
ongoing journey. Yeah. I tell people when we've been looking for an illustrator, for one of our
Yeah.
clients right now. And she's like, I had no idea it took this long. And I said, you're going to live with this for 10 years, 20
Yeah.
years, maybe even 30 or 40 or 50 years.
Yeah.
And if you don't like something about it, you're going to be mad
Yeah.
that
yeah.
whole 20 years, and you don't want to be mad. So we're going to figure it out, and we're going to do it right instead of doing it over.
Yeah. Well, I think about this Napoleon Hill
Right.
and his legacy.
Right.
is
Think and grow
the kid-
rich. Yeah.
You
Surround yourself with good people.
yeah, and surround yourself with good people, and also
Yeah.
notice that you it's not a one and done.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
constantly
Meeting people and
Yeah,
improving
meeting
and
people.
talking to people. And then when it comes to the technology, like you say,
Yeah.
you got a social media, you got to market, you got to distribute. And today with technology, you got to have somebody like Russ.
Yeah.
I do the writing and the printing and the publishing part, and
Yeah.
Russ does the social media and the technology and the podcasting and the live streaming.
and it's how many people you can get this out
Yeah.
to, and making sure that it's people are aware of
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, that's why we call it an journey, because like you say, once you write, then you publish, then you got to launch, and then you got to market it, and then you got to distribute, which actually sell it. Get
So-
money from somebody. How do
So
you get money from somebody?
This is why we are here at the
the library show
con.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell us about this this experience
here.
Yeah,
well,
experience.
we come here to the library conference because there's about between 4,000 and 5,000 librarians, public and school librarians, some universities and special like museums. Sometimes museums and cultural centers have special collections of books. So, but it's predominantly schools, K through 12, private and public schools, and then the school librarians and public librarians, and you've got elementary librarians, and you've got middle school librarians, and you've got high school librarians, you've got curriculum directors. Sometimes it's not just library. We just talked to some teachers from Venus, Texas, which is up in the North Texas area, we're from Dallas, so it's a suburb of Dallas. And so we met them, and we're going to probably do some programs in the fall related to our Black cowboys and cowgirls, and maybe even creative writing.
Yeah.
And so you never know who you're going to meet, and it's that one conversation.
We're all one conversation away to getting something we need or something we need to deliver.
Right, exactly. So it's great here. We're having a great time at TLA. We're the Dynamic Authors Group and Adriel Publishing. And then Russ and I have this wonderful show called The Author Adventure. So we hope that you'll go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Author Adventure.
Yeah.
And then we have a secondary show that's called Wild West Diversity, which is about all of our Western history. So go check us out. Find us on social media. Follow us. Where all can they follow us?
Yeah. And talk about this book. Yeah. This is a.
So this is our Cowboys of Color Cleo Hearn book, Mr. Black Rodeo. So Cleo was the one of the first 8 African Americans to serve in the Presidential Honor Guard under President Kennedy. And then he went to college. He was the first African American, wasn't he?
And then he found out what he liked rodeo.
Right. No, he was in it for 50 years. So he was the first African American to win a national championship.
Yeah.
And then he didn't have opportunity. There were a couple of rodeos that he went to that they said you can't rope because of the color of your skin. And this was the early 60s, obviously, of course, the 50s and 60s. But he stayed with it because all he wanted to be was a cowboy.
Yeah.
And then he was the first African American to win a national championship. So this is his legacy book.
In the Hall of Fame for the Cowboy Hall of Fame. So
in Oklahoma City, that's the big museum. He's also in the Texas Museum and Hall of Fame as well. And so check him out. Go find us at Amazon. Go find us at theauthoradventure.com. That's our website where all of our books are at. So we've got children's books, we've got nonfiction books, and we got a few fiction books as well. But
and they're always growing. So if you want to write it, you think about writing a book, you want to make sure you connect with us and make sure that you have an opportunity to follow us and
and you can do that
help.
on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram. Just check us out. Look for us there at the Author Adventure or theauthoradventure.com. You can find all of our stuff. So
I wanted to ask Scott if he's had any questions. Scott, you want to have?
It's a lot of fun. So we're fortunate that Liz is my friend.
Yeah.
Because she's the one who makes all of this stuff happen for the Dynamic Authors Group and invited Christine and I in. So I just want to say thank you to Liz and for all the work that you've done.
Well, right. Well, you're welcome. And I was so excited. With Christine and Scott. We're going to come down because we met online a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And we've been Zooming together and we've been StreamYard together and just showing up on the same places. And so you never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to be friends with. And, the wonderful thing about COVID was it did show us that we don't have to just be friends with our neighbors.
That's
we
right.
can be friends with people all around the world.
Yeah. It's really funny too, because here we were, we've done a lot of things together, a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And done a lot of promotion, different shows, brought different authors out. And we had never met face to face until just a couple of days ago.
Till Tuesday.
And I will just say that when you invest the time in a relationship, whether it's digital or whether it's face to face, when we started digital and we come here face to face, you would never know that we hadn't met.
That you're right. We had been
Right?
friends for 20 years,
Yeah.
30 years, 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you're thinking about publishing, Scott and them publish too. They help people publish. He's got an author show that's fabulous on Amazon. We've got our author show. We'd love to have you on our show. So you can contact us. You can follow us. You can follow Scott on LinkedIn, or he's got multiple shows. He's got co-hosts, like Russ and I are co-hosts on our show. So come out and see us. If you're a teacher, you're a librarian, you know somebody that's a teacher or a librarian.
Yeah, and
Tell
one
them
of the
about us.
things that that Liz does is she's got some different groups that are focused, and right now is one on editing.
Yeah.
Right. And so tell us a little bit
Right.
about that. It's kind of a mastermind, but the cost, by the way, is the most affordable that I have ever heard of.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so we think Russ and I think they're basically 5 things. There's the writing piece, there's the publishing piece, the launching, and the marketing and distribution. And the writing, obviously, the first thing. So you got to edit. We don't edit our own stuff. Okay, I write myself. Russ writes. Scott writes. We have somebody else edit our stuff because we're going to read it right. So you need to know what those tricks are. And there are some tricks to editing. There are tricks about reading backwards. There are tricks about what to look for, making the type bigger or smaller. When you're reviewing it, you want to blow that type up when you're reading that manuscript. And today you can if you're on a computer or an iPad. There are just some things related to editing that we want to help you with. So if you get in touch with us or go to our website, you'll find the links to those other programs. We're also looking at a Meet the Author event ourselves, and we're going to be inviting you to come to that. So,
well, that's wonderful. Well,
yeah, so
Liz,
hopefully
again,
that'll be
thank you for all of the work that you put in
You're
to
welcome. You're
make our booth here, the Dynamic Authors
Make it
Group.
look good. Did you
at
take a picture of our banner?
Absolutely. Yeah. The Texas Library Association Conference is where we've been here in San Antonio. Next year, it's going to be in Dallas.
Yeah.
And if you are interested in publishing a book, wonderful.
Right.
Contact one of us. But if they say, as they say, if you have a product that you want to sell and you don't promote it, if you don't advertise, it's like flirting in the dark. Only you know what's going on, right? And so I encourage you, publish your book this year, contact Liz, get a spot here in the booth, and you're going to talk to thousands of people. And then they're going to be able to buy your book. So make it available to be purchased.
And when you talk to people, like you say, you never know that one person who's going to go talk to somebody else, and maybe they buy 100 books or 500 books, or maybe they are the curriculum director for a whole district and they have 356 schools.
There you go.
Like Houston or Dallas or some big city, San Francisco. It doesn't matter where it is, where you are in the country. And if you're in a different state, they have a library conference. So figure out where it is, figure out how to get there, and go talk to people and tell them about your book. And we want to hear about your story too, because we know that everybody has a story. So
fabulous.
Thanks so much, Scott. Thanks, Russ.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
We'll hand this one over. Thank you again. We'll bring this back to Russ, and we'll wind this stream down. We've been going for just about an hour, which is pretty good for a regular stream.
For my routine right now, it's like, okay, talking and using my brain a little bit. Yeah. It's nice.
Well, it's been fun to do this with you, Russ, and
thank you so much. To appreciate it and make sure that we continue that. So
yeah, absolutely. So for now, we'll say thank you to everybody. Have a fabulous day, and write that book, publish that book. We'll talk to you all soon.
Yeah, take care.